Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. There is a lot going on in the world today. Today it's Friday the 30th of September, last day of the week, last day of the month, and we're starting off with record high inflation in Europe, more than 10%, and that is a average. In some countries I think it's like 15, 16, 17%, mostly due to the energy prices, the energy crisis. Yeah, they just need to start raising the interest rates ASAP, but it right away will cause a problem for southern countries like Italy and Spain because they have a huge debt compared to the GDP. Yeah, Christine Lagarde is probably pulling this face right now, like don't know what to do. Other than that, we have Putin, who officially announced that they will start announcing Ukraine annexation during the ceremony that is right now. Reason why this is so bad is because then it is they're seen as Russian territory. They will defend it, and then we are in theory a step closer to the use of nuclear weapons. So that will be absolutely devastating for the people there, but also of course to the markets where we are active in right now, and these kinds of things sometimes you need to take into account. Other than that, S&P 500, we put in a new yearly low yesterday. This is the daily candles. We closed the day at a minus 2.1%. At 36.40, and we had a target here of 35.90. That is some top and bottom here and here, all the way back from 2020. If we lose that, then I already draw a new target to the bottom. That is 3280. 3280. We have some confluence also here on the chart. If we lose that level too, then we're going down to the psychological level of 3000 for the S&P 500. We had some taps there as well in the past. Not so super clear maybe, but these are some taps on that level, and that of course will be seen as a psychological important round number and level to trade from. I have to say that I'm a little bit surprised by the speed that we are now going down. It feels a little bit more like we're going towards capitulation, and everything that's going on in the world with the energy, the inflation in Russia could be an extra catalyst for this to drop lower, because as you remember I said I expected us to consolidate here a little bit, but we left it right away. We just sliced through it like butter, and now we're going lower, so then we just have to put our targets more to the downside. Again, 35.90, and after that 32.80. Interesting, and weirdly enough, these candles right here, these red candles, was yesterday, and that means that Bitcoin was going down a little bit, going a little bit sideways, while the DXY was dropping, and also S&P made a new low here on the day that the dollar index was dropping. In other words, we had a little bit of a decoupling, and now we are seeing the dollar index trying to rally up again. This is on the 4-hourly. I think it's a matter of time. Then this starts rallying up again, and we are still in the zone of my macro target, somewhere between 112 and 120. Let's see if we see more decoupling today, or if we go hand in hand again with the dollar index, meaning that if this runs up, BTC will go down. Let's right away go to Bitcoin, because that is of course the reason why you are here. And we said in yesterday's video, we went over all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of trades you could take. And we said, well, if we are going down, we have the bottom here, we have a top here, going down to the golden pocket. That's exactly what happened, and then we went up, and that was one of the possible trades that we gave in yesterday's video. I didn't take it because there was not enough confirmation for me to take this trade. If you're taking it, then congratulations. I also updated you on Twitter in the meantime. Now we can take this off, and there's a few things for today that I'm looking at. And that is, you could argue that we have a little bit of a ascending triangle here playing out. I think that is something that a lot of people are now looking at. We did not discuss this yesterday, but this is one of the patterns that you could say, well, this could be actually a interesting trade. Then the breakout target, let's say put it here somewhere, would be 20,600-ish. Now that is actually a nice level, because we also talked about yesterday that we might go higher, take the liquidity off this top right here, because there's where the stops are, and then going lower. That would be very nice. There's only one problem with that scenario, and that is that there's not a lot of resistance between 20,400, so that is exactly this top, and then 21k. So us to maybe go higher and to then take liquidity going lower, yes, it is a possibility, but there is a bigger possibility for us to going higher than shoot up right away to approximately 21,000, because again, there is barely any resistance between 20,400 and approximately 21k. And then we would also reach this box, which is the macro golden pocket from top to bottom and then back up. So that would be very interesting. And again, that golden pocket is somewhere between 21,000 and 21,200. Those are two very important levels. Now what I also find interesting actually is that, let's say this pattern would play out and we go to the bottom, is that we go to the bottom of this pattern at approximately 18,500 ish. Why is that interesting? Because if we measure that from top to bottom, that's approximately 5%, 4.7 to be exact, to go down. Let's say we would fulfill that target, and then we have an extra minus of, let's say then plus minus 5%. We add that to the negative return that we have now for the month is minus 7%, and I keep mentioning this over and over again. That will be exactly the average negative return of the month of September of the last 5 years. And then we will add a 6th year on the row of that average monthly return. So that actually would be very interesting to see if that will work out or not. If it breaks to the downside, I will definitely play it to the downside. And again, the target is then approximately 18,500, which also coincides with the value area low of this range, the level where we have been bouncing off already so many times. I mean, if at some point it will eventually break, but it is a very first nice target then to the downside. Now there is one other pattern that you could also say that we're looking at this smaller range right here, and that is actually that we already broke out and that we have a little bit of a like this a triangle pattern, and that we broke out, retested it, and now slowly going higher. So actually you could make this one then a little bit smaller like this. And that we already broke out, as you could see. Nice breakout, retest sideways, and then maybe picking up to the upside and then going higher. Target would then be approximately the same. I will be a little bit more conservative, not take it all the way here and at the end. But let's say we do it somewhere here. I always like to be a little bit conservative, because sometimes the price target is not completely being reached and you just want to take profits just before. Then actually we would reach these tops right here, 20,400 again, and to the bottom, let's say we would break down now lower, that this was a fake out. Then you will go to this SFP, so that's almost the exact same bottom. Then we're talking about 18,200. The way this is playing out right now, I would prefer the earlier scenario, because we just don't have a breakout right now and confirmation on volume, and that is something that you always want to see on the breakout. So if there is then one pattern that I need to look out for, then it would be this rising triangle right here, or ascending triangle. That actually would be nice. Then we have a breakout in matter of the next 1 to 3 hours. Yeah, that is actually it for now. Do I have anything else for you? No, actually all the other trades from yesterday is just still in play. So let's say we will suddenly start dumping down, we go below the 18,200, then I want to see an SFP and then going higher. Definitely would trade that as a long. The 17,600 going lower than this as an FFP, would definitely trade it as a long. Break this to the downside, trade it as a short. Trade this suddenly break to the upside, we'll trade it as a long. If we come to these levels right here, so we pump up SFP maybe this high, we'll trade it as a short. Pump further up to that golden pocket, trade it as a short. So these are now kind of the levels that I'm looking out for. Yesterday was a little bit of a boring day, was not so much to trade because it was just a lot of sideways action. and I still feel like we are coiling up to maybe have a bigger breakout. And who knows, it might be today. Like I said, last day of the week, last day of the month. We have seen more and more Fridays lately that have been suddenly very, very volatile. And with everything that's going on in the world, and with all the data that's coming out, I would not be surprised if sooner or later we're seeing a very big move. Alright guys, that will be it for now. Stay safe, happy trading, safe trading. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends who think that's useful, and feel free of course to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I update you multiple times a day about the markets and all kind of good stuff that I'm finding. Thank you guys so much. See you next one. Bye bye.